Time the entire right wing rises up to speak out against something that seems so irrelevant, firstly we have to question what is the planning behind this and whether this is a smokescreen for something else.
So I really think that this is something that the government will use as an excuse to push for more censorship. Because remember, when the digital media rules were brought in 2021, I remember Ravi Shankar Prasad and Prakash Javadekar calling a press meet and justifying digital media rules. How? Because they said a lot of child pornography is available online. People are watching a lot of child pornography and videos of women getting assaulted. Therefore, we have to bring digital media rules, right? Digital media rules were not for child pornography or for women. It was for clamping down on websites which were critical of the government. Very simple.
If NCW or the cops or the whole of India were up in arms saying this is sexual harassment, I would go along with them. But for them, it's vulgarity. And this same crowd will laugh at us women, will laugh at us feminists and say we have no sense of humor when we object to rape jokes. Suddenly, they've all decided that they don't like this person. Why? Because for them, the threshold appears to be not violence against women or minorities or Dalits or anybody. For them, threshold is mummy daddy respect. He said something which they found disrespectful to amma, appa, mummy, daddy, which is what is really, I think, very troubling about this entire episode.
Infosys suddenly told all these people, take your laptops, come to the office. There are security guards in whatever army uniform sort of thing. And then they're brought inside, they're made to sign this voluntary agreement. They're dropped back in the hostel and said, vacate immediately. Like even the night you cannot stay back. So the women, the young women were all crying. They had to figure out how to stay over that night. It's the lack of dignity also, right? More than just a company taking a decision.
This entire thing of even having this bench strength, it is a way of hedging. It's a way of doing futures business with manpower, which means that, I project that in the next quarter or the next 6 months, I might get this kind of additional business for which I might need this kind of bench strength, so to speak. And these benches are made up of humans. I mean, that is not taken into consideration in this entire enterprise.
It's not just lack of political awareness and political rights, it's half-baked political awareness and political rights, which thinks that if you unionize, you'll actually have industry leave, you're actually imposing a penalty on, the free market, right? Collectivization is a penalty on free market. This kind of half-baked thinking. This is why they'll quickly go after. This is why in Kerala there's no industry.
Yes. No, and they'll say compared to New York, when you don't know the history of unionization in New York.
New York and LA have some of the largest IT unions. I mean, the Silicon. Even now, I mean, there are more unions there.
The Bay Area is unionizing, right?
Yeah. Uncontrolled capitalism that we are having now. This multinationals who can acquire and dispose of humans like they are acquiring some bunch of furniture or some machinery. That is what we are seeing here. Whereas Factories Act and all of that came in to ensure that there is a dignified work productivity life that you can have.
I've been having conversations with directors, producers, writers, and I began to realize that there is such an atmosphere of fear in all film industries in this country, but also that within the Hindi film industry, there is a capitulation, unlike in several of India's other film industries, where you have many, many more people pushing back.
They actually don't want to encourage any kind of dissent, right? Any kind of questioning, whether it is of their government or another government, because that behavior can then be projected onto their government.
I think there is a mindset within this government that members of minority communities should not be built up as heroes, as rebels, as people who have taken on the establishment in any way.
Even if there is no law, people are so scared now that they are ready to do whatever is possible just to make sure that movie is either released or they don't want to get in trouble.
Pedro, which is one of the films that I've mentioned in the article, is a Kannada indie which was not allowed to be shown at the Bangalore International Film Festival because what? I mean, there was no specific reason beyond one of the supporters of the BJP who was among the organizers said it is a quote-unquote religiously sensitive topic. But the film got a censor clearance. So it's like there's no place at which you'll say, oh, okay, I'm through now. Because even once your film is in theaters and even once it has gotten to an OTT, you're not sure whether it might be pulled down.